interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
You actually can remove and replace the pads on the new PlayStation Pulse Elite gaming headset. The new Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite gaming headset is pretty darn good. And that's not me just saying that. We've stacked them up against the Odyssey Maxwells and the original PlayStation Pulse 3D headsets. But this comparison, I truly think, will be the most important. That's the PlayStation Pulse Elite compared to the SteelSeries Nova 7Ps. And throughout this video, you'll catch on to why I'm saying this is the most important comparison. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, being Cuktech and their power bank and portable GAN charger. Now, first off, taking a look at the Cuktech P23 power bank, delivering 140 watts of power, featuring an auto-grade battery, which is built to last with over 1,000 charge cycles. And you also have 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. Now, one of my favorite things about this power bank is the aesthetics. It just looks sleek and stylish. And how about that screen to let you know how much charge you have left on it and the status of whichever port you're using charging your device from it. I mean, the aesthetics of this is just unmatched. You got that futuristic style with the transparent, and then again, your screen telling you everything. There's no denying. This power bank is absolutely gorgeous. And my second favorite thing about this power bank is how quick it is. You can get 19 minutes of charge to get a 40% boost out of it, or 2 hours to fully charge it. Now, if you're not needing to charge on the go like myself, Cuktech also has their 65 watt GAN power adapter. And with the lightning fast charging you get from this power adapter, you can charge an iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is what I use, to 55% in just 30 minutes. But maybe you need to charge more than one device. Luckily, you can charge up to 3 here, and it will distribute that 65 watts across all 3 devices evenly. It also features a smart low current charge mode. So if you're charging Bluetooth earbuds or a smartwatch, it's not going to drain out your battery. And what I really like about it is the portability. It's incredibly small. Take it, put it in your pocket, and you're good to go. And one of the great things about Cuktech and their chargers or power banks is they're not going to break the bank. They are actually coming in at very affordable prices. So if you're looking to charge your devices a little bit better or looking for that portable solution, make sure to take a look at the Cuktech power adapter and power banks right down in the links in the description. So of course, we got to kick it off with comfort. And what I want to do first is put them on the scale, because you're going to be gaming for a long session. You don't want these being too heavy. 342 over here on the Pulse Elite. Now getting the Nova 7Ps on, we are getting 322. So as far as weight, they're really not that far off. And in the hand, they pretty much feel the exact same. Now, where they do significantly differ for comfort is the adjustability of them. You all know on the Pulse Elites, these ear cups, my goodness, I can go on and on about how easily these things just move around. That's pretty much your swivel and your adjustment there, and then your headband is on that tension. We'll talk more about that in the build, but that's how your ear cups move. Over here on the Nova 7s, you pretty much have traditional adjustment. Right up here, your arm is on tension right there, really holds its position really nice. Your ear cups, you have that full swivel. They go in and out, and then you got this adjustable headband with those 3 notches, and it just sits there, kind of elastic, really nice, comfortable feel. Now, as far as ear pad size, the Pulse Elites are pretty much a direct circle. The only difference you're going to get here is at the front, they're a little bit more shallow, and then at the back, and if you can see that in the camera, I can't get lighting here, but they are deeper in the back. They kind of got that angle right there. Coming over to the 7Ps, a little bit more of that oval. As you see, they are a little bit longer, maybe a pinch bit narrow there, but as far as depth, they're the exact same all the way around. Now, obviously, as you've been seeing, the biggest difference on these ear pads is the material. Over here on the Pulse Elite, you have pleather inside and out, so yes, they are going to get mighty spicy. Over here on the Nova 7s, you have that pleather locked in the inside to lock in some of that bass and that sound, but on the outside, that nice sports weave, very nice, soft and plush, very comfortable, not too hot or anything. I just love the SteelSeries pads. Over here on the Pulse Elites, they are incredibly plush, and again, you don't get any pinch or anything, but you do get sweaty and spicy with these pads. But now for the moment of truth, whenever we take both of these headsets and put them on our head, and by the way, I always game with glasses, so talking about pressure points, none with glasses whatsoever, but I will stay on the Pulse Elite. As far as adjusting, like just pulling them out, they grip onto these pads because you got that full pleather there, and the hotter you get, the more grippy they're going to get there, but no pressure points or anything. Locking around my ears really nice with that adjustability on those ear cups. Coming over here to the Nova 7s, Man, just putting these on, it seriously feels like you just laid in bed down on a soft plush pillow. It is perfect. Me with a bald head, I don't feel anything up here. You don't really feel anything on that either, but again, it is rubber. This is more that cloth, so it just sits there. The ear pads just sink in. Oh my gosh, these things are so incredibly cozy. So as far as the comfort department, even though both of these gaming headsets are stinking cozy, the SteelSeries one, I would just want to use for a lot longer in those long sessions. Again, those hot pads over here are a little spicy. Hold up, we got time for a project? My man over there at Wicked Cushions actually said you can remove these pads. He said we're gonna need a butter knife to do this project, but I'm gonna bring a couple other tools, some screwdrivers here, maybe some cutters if we need, and then the Sawzall. All right, so I'm going to start with the butter knife trick. Let's start from the outside here. I'm gonna tuck underneath. All right, I feel, okay. Oh, yeah, they're unclipping, but as it's clipped in there, and then I go one down to the next, what if I can just, oh yeah, now I can just pull them off. Easy breezy. Take a look at that in there. You got to clip, 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 and then it clips right around the ear cup. Sawzall not needed. I know I get a lot of slack for plugging Wicked Cushions all the time, but man, the dude's a genius. And let me tell you what, they're game changing. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell because we will be talking about some replacement pads coming soon. A cool little side note while we got this ear pad off, the ear pad's actually not angled at all. As you see, it's the same density and the same thickness going all the way around the entire ear pad. Pretty much, again, like a flat circle. The difference is going to be the driver is angled up. So if you see that angle right there, and then it dips in the back, and the ear pad clips all the way around there. So that's the difference. Again, the ear pad is the exact same going all the way around. And that brings us right into the build of both of these headsets. And as far as the Pulse Elites, you all know these incredibly loose ear cups. My gosh, they make me nervous. I just wish there was a little bit of tension in there. Now that noise you're hearing whenever I shake them around is them hitting the front and then the back. There's no cushioning in there, but that's, again, not the issue. The noise, the issue is how easily they move. I've dropped this headset multiple times, as you can probably see a lot of scuffs all around it, no issues whatsoever, but over time, that is my concern. But other than that, I'll stretch them apart, twist them up, no issues whatsoever, but you do notice I'm holding the ear cups because that's what scares me a bit. Coming over here to the 7Ps, now I've used plenty of SteelSeries headsets, no issues, I can twist them up, again, nothing's really bothering me, and as I twisted them up, I noticed the arm came out a little bit, so nice to have that extra movement point there. The headband, obviously not going to come off, you can wash it. The ear pad's incredibly easy to remove, you just peel them off, bam, and you're good to go. And then you have the fork down here. This is probably the one issue on a SteelSeries headset. It is mildly loose right there, and on my old Arctis Pros, that came pretty loose, but it never really broke. So as far as the build, neither of these headsets are built like a tank, but I've stated in many videos, I will take a lightweight plastic headset over a heavy metal headset. The Maxwells, for example, they are incredibly heavy. You look at some high-end audiophile headsets, there's going to be a lot of plastic on them. Some of them have carbon fiber to help out that weight as well. But my point is, I will take a lightweight plastic headset, as we have with both of these, over a heavy-duty metal headset. But since we're doing a comparison, we have to give a winner here, and I'm going to give it to the SteelSeries because, again, those ear pads just scare me. Now let's take a look at the features and functions on both of these headsets. And I usually never cover features and functions in my comparisons, but right here, I think we really have to. As far as the Pulse Elite, you all know you got your retractable microphone, which we'll do those mic tests here shortly. You got your power button, your simultaneous Bluetooth, or your link. So if you want to pair it up to a PlayStation Portal or something, you can do that. You got 3.5 USB-C, and then your volume rocker right back here. And again, as you caught, yes, you do have simultaneous Bluetooth, so you can get your music and game at the same time over here. Coming over to the Nova 7Ps, you have game to chat dial, which yes, you can do over here on the PlayStation, but you go into the system settings, or some people stated you can use it on their Elite controller. Not too sure about that, but as of right now in the settings, over here you have your Bluetooth and power button, and it is also simultaneous. And one thing I want to point out about this real quick here is I love how the buttons are separate. Over here, it's all controlled into that one button. So you got to hold it for the 3 seconds or hold it for the 5 seconds or whatever. It can get a little confusing over here. Nice to have 2 separate buttons. Then you got your mic mute over here and also a retractable microphone with 3.5 and USB-C. But as far as the features and functions on both of these headsets, they are both packing what you need. Simultaneous Bluetooth, retractable microphone, so you don't look like an airplane pilot every time you're gaming. A little bit easier to control on the 7P since you got multiple buttons, but once you get these paired up and it syncs up, you're good to go. Now where the features and functions really start to differ a bit is when we look at the Pulse Elite dedicated for PlayStation PlayStation, since hence it's a PlayStation headset, you can take that power button, press it 3 times, pull up all your audio settings as far as EQs, your volume, your side tone, whatever you want in the audio, you can tweak it right there. It'll pause your game and you can control it right there. And the other feature that's really going to separate the Sony headset is the charging hook that is included with it. You just take it, set it down on it, and it's going to charge your headset. You can even use it to charge a controller. Now, as far as the Nova 7Ps, of course, you got the engine, and you also have the SteelSeries Sonar software, which is controlled over on PC. As far as the Sony one on PC, there's no Sony software. You can use Dolby Atmos or any other thing you got, or, of course, the SteelSeries Sonar software. So as far as features and functions, the win, clear as day, is going to go to the Sony Pulse Elite.
Now let's go on and get that microphone test. We're going to kick it off with the SteelSeries Nova 7Ps. And I got the microphone placed right in front of my mouth, which is how SteelSeries shows you in the box right there. And it's just a known issue with SteelSeries microphones, a little bit tinny, a little bit airy. You know, you're probably hearing my P's and T's a lot, which is, again, how I talk. So I can even see them peeking over there in the microphone. And the microphone's not very moldable. So if I put it down, it pretty much bounces right back up. If I pull it out, this is how the microphone will sound. You're probably picking up a whole lot more sound reverberation there. Our mute button is, which side is it on? I believe it's on the right side. No, it's on the left side. So really cool that whenever you mute it, you get the tone in there, and you also get that light right there, which is something I love. SteelSeries has always done this. Now you see just about everybody doing it, which is I absolutely love. But all in all, this is Nova 7P microphone. Let's go ahead and plug up the Pulse Elite and get that comparison. And now you're hearing the microphone on the Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite. Microphone about the same distance here. And I highly recommend you go watch my standalone video. We did that microphone test about how this has that AI noise cancellation. So anything in front of you or eating chips. And I ate kettle chips and it really didn't pick up any of that munching sound, which is super cool because that's directly in front of my mouth. But the other thing is like, you can see it does pick up some of that sound, but if you're typing or controlling or whatever, it's not going to pick up all that excess noise, which is just super cool. And on top of the microphone sounding good already, I mean, you can adjust it out, maybe drop it down a little bit. If I'm a little bit too loud, pull it out even more if you want. The other thing I really like is the mute button. As you saw, you also get that light right here, and you also get a tone in the headset as well. Same over here on the Novos. But now there is one thing I want to mention about this microphone. Of course, you all know you can retract it. You can push it in and still use it. Same over here on the Novas. But I've been using this headset quite a bit. And as far as the microphone, it's starting to stick a little bit. Because I don't know if it's on like a coil spring in there. Whenever I push it in, it kind of catches and goes and catches and goes. So I just wanted to mention that. And by the way, this is what it sounds like when it's retracted, which is what I like because I don't got this big microphone in front of me. But I did want to let you know about that one issue that is starting to occur, that microphone's starting to stick as I push it in there.
So as far as the microphone comparison, it's a clear as day win for the Sony Pulse Elite. Now let's go and talk about the sound difference. And it's pretty significant with both of these. You don't mind if I pull up a chair for this? You all know I can get quite long-winded whenever I talk about sound. I'm so passionate about it. And again, it's so different between both of these headsets. The Sony Pulse Elite, you all are very familiar. It's their first collaboration. Again, Sony owns Odyssey now, so they're using that planar magnetic drivers. Over here, you got your standard traditional dynamic drivers where they're beating in and out, car speakers and whatnot. And talking about that, what you're going to get is over here on the Pulse Elite is very clear, very crispy, very just detailed environment sounds, dialogue, weapon reloads, or slashing of swords or anything like that. You really get that detailed environment. It is a little crispy, and I've gotten a lot of comments in my videos, people talking about, hey man, I just can't dial this in, and I got to let them know, like, hey, these are planar magnetic drivers. You're going to notice that on high-end headphones using them, Odysseys, the Maxwells, they are very potent in the highs, right? So if you're coming from a traditional gaming headset, this is going to be something a little bit new for you. But again, if you like that detail, really crisp dialogue and stuff, that's what you're going to get here. Pulling out bass in this is almost impossible. You can get in there. I showed it on my EQs. You can dial it up. But once you start pulling out too much bass with these, it's going to get soft. It's going to get muddy. And it's just not good. It really isn't. You can probably keep your bass around maybe 2 notches, 2.5, something like that, and you'll be pretty comfortable. You still get that bass and you get immersion and a little bit of that fullness, but it's not thumpy or, again, hard hitting there by any means. And coming over here to the Novas, which are quite different from the original SteelSeries, which were focused more on the highs, they introduced a little bit more bass in here, kind of flat. Flat sounds so bad, but again, you got a nice neutral sound over here. But yes, you can pull out a little bit more bass in this. Now, you're not going to get like Beats bass. It's not going to be rumbly and thumpy, but you can get that occasional like rumble in the headset right there, kind of getting a little bit of that bass. But this bass will overpower some of the highs. Again, dynamic driver, right? It's all competing against each other over there, and it's beating. Once you get that bass, it will drown out your highs a little bit more. So yes, you're going to get more dedicated detail highs over here. Over here, you'll get a little bit more of everything, but not separated as good as, say, a planner driver. So there's probably a couple questions you want to ask right now. Well, hey man, which one's better for FPS or which one's better for a story game? And again, that really differs game to game and person to person. Sound is personal preference for sure. I love potent, crispy highs. You may love that hard-hitting bass. I don't, right? But talking about FPS, it really depends game to game, right? Just as much as person to person. Halo, for example, you're going to use those footsteps for bass. Coming into something like Rainbow Six or something a little more competitive, Counter-Strike, you want more of those highs. And that's where something like this will really shine. Now, again, as far as Halo, I would probably go more towards the 7Ps. But if you're on something more competitive, Counter-Strike, Valorant, something like that, that's where the crispy highs of this is really going to shine. So as far as the sound profile of these headsets, as you're catching, they are significantly different for sure. Sound is personal preference number one. So before what I say or what anyone says in the comments, you think about what you want. Do you want more body, more fullness? Well, you're probably going to want to go with the 7Ps. Do you want that deep, crispy, detailed, just dialogue and those highs that are a little bit sharper, not ear-piercing by any means, but they are sharper, then you're going to want to go with these. Again, planar magnetic drivers are a different experience, and it might take you time to get used to, so when you take these out of the box, don't expect that old classic gamer headset style. These are going to be a bit sharper and a little more crisper in that detail. And as far as me and my personal preference, as far as sound, I am going to pick the Sony Pulse Elite because I absolutely love planar magnetic drivers in that crispy detail. So now that we had a good look over in comparison of both of these headsets, which one is going to take the win? This is pretty tough. Believe you me, it is pretty tough. The PlayStation Pulse Elite comes in at $150. Awesome value for what it's packing. Now, the Nova 7s are coming in at $180 MSRP, but they've been out for about a year now, and you can find them all day long for $150. So, as is right now, the same price. And that's what makes it a little bit tough, because they're both packing awesome features and functions, great comfort, great sound. Again, these are two amazing headsets. But I'm doing this comparison, and I'm gonna give you my winner. Which one would I go to the store and pick up right now? Which one do you guys think I'm gonna pick, right? I've been called SteelSeries fanboy for years and years. People rag on me about it, right? I absolutely love SteelSeries products, and especially their headsets. But today, I'm gonna go with the Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite. This headset just packs so much value for $150. I absolutely love it. So there we go, the new Sony PlayStation Pulse Elite taking the win again in another comparison. No joke, this headset is so awesome. I highly recommend you check it out. Links right down in the description. And thank you so much for coming by for all these videos. I hope they were helpful. If they were, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe because we got many other great videos to come. And I hope I see you there. Bye now.